Hello guys, I want to start something new. I have a friend who wants to start building 1/43rd scaled model cars. So he asked me, to introduce him to modeling this kind of model cars. Now, since we shouldn't be, hanging around with each other, so I thought I'd make a video for him to tell him, what I do with this kind of model cars. What I have here is a Silverline. Silverline is one of the range from an Italian model car maker, Tamio. And this particular one is a number 86. It's a Lotus 99T Formula One racing car, and it's driven by Ayrton Senna. This year is the 25th anniversary of Senna's pass away. So I thought I will build this car to demonstrate to him, how I, work on this kind of model cars. I don't know whether you guys have ever seen these kind of model cars before. So I will do a really fast review of the kit. Now the box is very small, and they usually come in small plastic bags of parts, and with some foam pieces to protect the parts. Now this is the main body, and it's around 3 inches long. And it's all metal, so it's a good chance to see how I build these white metal cars. Other than the car bodies, these are the tires. The tires have all the logos already printed on, and many small pieces of metal like wires and turn metal pieces that's like as small as a piece of sesame. And then there are other parts also cast in white metal. So there are not many parts, but they are very nicely detailed. And once they are put together, the kit looks like a little jewel. So a lot of car modelers like to build this kind of model cars because it's small, but it's quite detailed for the size, and it looks really nice on a display case, and it doesn't take up too many space. This is the instruction. Again, it's quite simple, a few pages. Let me widen the camera. Now there are some photo etch pieces, and then usually there are not too many parts. It starts with painting and building the body, and then they put in the wings and then the radiators. Then it goes to building of the gearbox and the suspension parts, and then the monocoque, and then the bottom tray. And in the middle there are usually quite a few photos of the real car as a reference, and then with a instruction on how to place the decals. And then we come to the final assembly of the main components onto the body. The rear wings and some of the roll bars. And one particular version of this car has a video camera. And look at the size of the video camera. That's quite big in that era. And then finally is the assembly of the wheels. And here another view of the complete model with all the decal on the right places. And then here's the decals. Don't look at it, such a small piece, but the printing of the decal is very good. And actually, one of the famous decal maker, Cartograph from Italy, used to print decals for 1 to 43rd scale model cars. That's how they start their business. And look at the size of the printing. It's very, very small, and the registration has to be very good, or else you'll look like crap. So that's how they started their business, and then how they got the quality they have today. And then we come to the photo edge parts. There are like 3 main threads of them. One contains all the side plate of the wings, front and back. And then other one contains the suspension arms. And this small one, which already formed it, it's for the wings, I suppose. Either for the rear wings or the front wings. So this is how detailed these kind of small metal model car are. One of the important procedure of building this kind of kits is to test fit all the parts. So before I do that, I need to clean up all the molding lines from all the parts before I can do a dry run. So the next thing I do is to clean up all the molding lines. Okay, I have finished sanding the molding seam on the body of the car. The next thing is to check the fitting of the bottom tray with the body. Now look at the bottom tray. Actually, there's also seam lines along the bottom tray. So next thing I need to do is to clean up the molding line of this part. Again, I will do it off camera and I'll come back to show you the final result. You can see that I also clean up the molding seam along the edge of the bottom tray, and I usually, can control myself. So even though I want to keep this simple, but that's something I cannot control myself, is to thin out the edge a little bit to give the model a little more to scale kind of thickness, especially around the end here where the diffuser is. Thinning it out a little bit will make the model looks a little bit more to scale. You can see that the joint of the body and the bottom tray is quite nice, much better than the kits we built many years ago. So the next thing to do is to sand the whole body with sanding sponge, because the body of the model is a lot of curvature and very small. So I start sanding it with 3M sanding sponge. I use the fine grit first, and then we cut a piece out from here. You really don't need a large piece actually. I cut out, this is like 1.5 centimeter by 1.5 centimeter. And then I start sanding the whole body with the sponge. Now once you start sanding, you'll realize that the molding is not as smooth as injection plastic, because this is white metal, and you know, the property of metal is expanding when heated and retract when cooling. So, you know, casting white metal is different from casting plastic. The amount of shrinkage is a lot more than plastic. So, you know, casting white metal is not as simple as you think. Okay, now you can see the whole car body have been sanded, and also you can see the bottom tray have been sanded. Now the next thing I need to do now is to fix it together with the screw that provided by the kit. So what I'll do is I will drill a hole through the body part there and then fix it with the screw. The screw comes with the kit, always come in, it's always a M2.2. So the width of the screw is 2.2 mm. For 2.2 mm screw, I will use a 1.8 mm drill to drill up the hole here. Usually before I fix the bottom tray to the car body, I will drive the screw first into the hole. And it's easier that way, because once you put the bottom tray onto the body, it might not be that easy. And now I have the bottom tray fixed to the body. Now I will go ahead and clean out all the other metal parts and do a dry assembly of all the parts. Okay, I will end this part here, and I'll go off to clean up all the parts. And in my next video, I will start the dry fitting of all the parts. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.